Hi everyone, and welcome to this video. Today we are going to take a look at conditional statements in JavaScript, right? And this is a very important concept because from this point onward, we are going to be writing codes that are intuitive and do things that are interesting. So in the real world, our daily lives are shaped by the decisions we make, right? Decisions like whether to go out and catch up with friends, or you decide to stay indoor throughout the day, whether to go to that night class or to go to the party. Now, in the programming world, there are times when we have two decisions to make, right? And one has to come if one condition is true, and the other if the condition is not true. And this helps us to tell the computer whether or not it should run a piece of code. So let's go ahead and see an example. For instance, if we do let age, right? We simply declare it without assigning it. And then we go ahead and use an if statement. Now, if allows you to run a code if a condition is true. So what are we going to do? We're going to say that, okay, if age is greater than or equal to 18, right? Console.log. Let me set a variable out here for what we want to do. So we're going to create a variable and say const can vote. I'm writing it like I'm typing. Const can vote equals you are eligible to vote. You are eligible to vote, right? Now, what are we going to do? Inside our if statement, we'll say console.log can vote. And that's it. So let's go up here and set our age variable equals to a value. So what number should we use? Let's use 19, right? $19. And we save, come to the terminal and run code node conditionals. You see, you are eligible to vote. We see we are eligible to vote. And why did we get the answer? The reason is because the condition is true. We say if age is greater than or equal to 18, it should say you are eligible to vote. And our if statement runs if the condition is true, but will not run if the condition is false or it's not true. And when I say the body of the code, I'm talking about anything inside these curly braces. We are still going to talk more about the body of code when we get to functions later. So now let's go ahead and change the value of age to something below 18. Let's say 17. And obviously 17 is less than 18 and it's not equal to 18. Now we save, come down here and run the code. And what do we get? We get nothing, right? Because the condition is false. So at this point, there is something else we need to use, because to make our code very, very flexible and more interesting to work with, we should be able to get an output if a condition is true or even if it is not true. And now to do that, we are going to use the else statement. I will simply come here and say else console.log let's come up here and set another variable and say const cannot vote, right? I'll set it equal to you must be 18 to vote. To vote. And now we save our code. We come down here and see what happens without modifying the value of age and without doing anything else. Let's run our code. And what do we get? Oh, console.log cannot vote. I have to add it here. Sorry about that. Save. Without modifying the value of age, what do we get? Still cannot vote, nothing. Okay, what is going on? What is going on? If the value of age greater than or equal to 18, let age equal 17. Save. Yeah, we get you must be 18 to vote. I run the code without typing node conditional. Sorry about that. Now, what else can we do? With the value of age equals to 17, we are able to see you must be 18 to vote. And now we get an output even if the condition for the person to vote is true or it is not true. Now, to make it even more flexible, we can add the statement called else if. And now to use else if, we come in between the if and else here and we do else if, right? And we do the else if. And in our condition, we say age, let's just greater than or equal to 25. Console.log. Let's just use a string literal here without assigning it to a variable. Console.log, you can run for office. For office. So if you are 25 and above, you can run for a political office. But using greater than or equals to here, we are going to mess up our code. So we won't get anything by running it like this. So how do we modify it? We are going to use and, the logical and. And this is how we did. We say age greater than or equal to 18 and age less than or equal to, sorry. Or age less than, let's just less than 25. We save, come down here. So when we change our value now to, let's say 20, it's greater than 18 and less than 25, right? So we save, come, what do we get? We get you are eligible to vote. But if we go ahead and say 26 is greater than 18, but not less than 25. So what do we expect to see? We will see you can run for office. So let's save our code, go down here, and what do we get? You can run for office. So you can try to create a scenario and mess around with the if and else statement. Once again, it is very interesting to do and something to help you mess around. Now, the next syntax we are going to be talking about is this syntax called the switch statement. And please smash the subscribe button. It really makes me happy. Now, to do that, let's just go ahead and say, what should we use? Okay, let's use footballers, right? Let's say favorite footballer. Once again, we declare it without assigning it. And now we come down here and use the switch statement. Switch. Now what we are using is the footballer. Favorite footballer. So what value are we going to use? We are going to use Ronaldo and Messi. Yeah. So we use Ronaldo, right? And we do console.log best header. Of course, Ronaldo is the best header in football history. The best header. We go down and say console.log. Haha. We use console without log here. Console.log. What else is Ronaldo? He's an excellent finisher. Yeah. He's a very good goal scorer. Excellent finisher. Okay, let's add one more and say console.log. What else? Excellent positioning. Yeah. Ronaldo has an excellent positioning. So let's go out and create another case, right? Let's go back and create another case. So we do case Messi. Come down here, full colon, come down and say console.log best dribbler. Of course, Messi is the best dribbler in football. Best dribbler, Control T. Should I say an excellent playmaker? Control D, and should I say, yeah, an excellent goal scorer too. So when we come down here to save, well, before we save, let's go up and assign our favorite footballer to a value. And let's use Ronaldo first. Ronaldo. Save, come down here and run the code. And we get the best header, the best excellent finisher, and excellent positioning. If we change this value to Messi, we get best dribbler, excellent playmaker, and excellent goal scorer. So when the condition in the switch here, the argument it receives, if it is true, we get the values for those cases. If the case is true, we get the value for it. So when Messi is the value of the favorite footballer, we get best dribbler, excellent playmaker, and goal scorer. Now, what are the other things here? We see the break keyword, right? So the break keyword enables JavaScript compiler to break out after executing a program. Remember, you can have as many cases as you want inside your switch statement, not just these two. So let's go ahead and say, let's assume we remove the break keyword. What are we going to see? Let's change the value to Ronaldo, and we save, come down here, run the code. So we see both the values of those of Ronaldo and Messi printed together. Okay, our JavaScript compiler never realizes it needs to stop. So to make sure something like that does not happen, we use the break keyword. Now, if you are going to have like 3 or 4 or any amount of cases you want to have, always make sure you add a break keyword after them. And because our second case is messy. We don't really need a break keyword here. Now, defaults. Assuming we use another player's name who is not Ronaldo. Let's say Neymar. A player who is not Ronaldo and who is not Messi. Let's save. What do we expect to see? We get nothing. We get nothing. Just you can run for office. We get nothing. Why? Because there is no value for Neymar, and Neymar is not a case in our switch statement. Now, to make up for this is why we have the default. Now, default works by returning a value for any value of the variable that is not a case in our switch statement. So what default value should we give? Let's just say, yeah, he's also a footballer, right? He is also a footballer. And that solves the problem. When we save it and come down here, we will see he is also a footballer because that is the default value. So once again, what other thing can cause problem that we need to avoid? What other thing can cause problem that we need to avoid? Okay, let's say you are building this application for users, right? This is a tutorial, so we can't make any mistake here. So let's assume you are building it for users, and it is users that have to enter the value here. Now, we know JavaScript is a case-sensitive language. So what happens if they go ahead and write Ronaldo like this? What if they go ahead and write Ronaldo like this? Let's save and come down here. We get nothing. Okay, we get he's also a footballer exactly because we have a default value for it. But we wanted to get this output because this is the output for Ronaldo. But for you, you think this Ronaldo and this Ronaldo are the same. For JavaScript, they are not. Okay, for JavaScript, these two Ronaldos are not the same Ronaldo. Now, how do we resolve this issue? We can come here and use a string method. So we say to uppercase, right? And we invoke it. It's a function. We invoke it. So what happened? We also come here and change our Ronaldo to uppercase and Messi to uppercase also. And this will help us to avoid so many problems. Now, let's save and come down here. What do we get? We get the output for Ronaldo, the best header, excellent finisher, and excellent positioning. Because regardless of how they write it, even though the person comes ahead and do something like this, we are still going to get the value of Ronaldo because after receiving the value, JavaScript converts everything to uppercase using the to uppercase string method. So when we run our code again, we get the same thing, and it also works for Messi, right? So the last syntax we are going to talk about, is the ternary operator. So ternary operator is this small syntax that helps you to write less code anytime you need to. Now let's go ahead and see an example and do something like this. Let x equals 1, right? And come down here and say let y equals string 1 also. And remember, in cases like this, you can simply use the same variable distinct for it. You can simply use the same. This semicolon automatically makes it look like it's on a separate line, so we won't get any error. So we are trying to check now. We are going to use the ternary operator to check if the value and the type, if the value and the data type of x is equal to the value and the data type of y. And how to do that, I know we haven't talked about type coercion, and I'm going to make a video on that very soon. So in type coercion, we have two operators we can use, and those are the double equal sign and um and the triple equal sign. So with the double equal sign, we will be able to check only the values if they are equal. So if we go ahead and do something like this, let's use the double equal sign first so you see what I'm talking about. Now we put the condition inside the parentheses, right? And now to show that it's a condition, we add a question mark. So outside this question mark, we do equal, right? And we use a full colon and we say not equal, not equal. Not equal. Good. And that's the end of our code. We save. And when we come down here, like I said, the double equal sign checks only the value, not the data type. So we get equal. Oh, sorry, I need to console.log, and I keep forgetting to use console.log. Sorry about that, guys. Results. Save. Now when we run it, we will see equal because the double equal sign checks only the value and 1 is equal to 1. So you know how the ternary operator works now. The condition is here with the question mark to show it's the condition, and we see the output if the condition is true and if the condition is not true. So now let's go ahead and check what we truly want to check, which is both the value and the data type. And we add another equal sign to make it a triple equal sign. So when we save and run the code, we get not equals because the triple equal sign did not just check the value, which is 1 and 1. It checks their data type, and x is a number or an integer. Y is a string because we put it in quotes. So that is why we get not equals. Although I'll still make a video on type question, just know for now, anytime you want to check or make comparisons, use the triple equal sign because it's safer and it's going to save you from a lot of trouble. All right, guys, so this is everything we did for today. Always know you can come back, and that is why I create a separate file for each concept we are talking about in JavaScript. So you can come back and check anytime you want to, and always remember, practice, practice, practice. That is how you can become the programmer you want to be. So that's all for this video. Once again, please like and subscribe. It helps what I do, and turn on your notification to get updates each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.